Hello. This is a second video or a follow-up or a remake of a video about Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth game on Steam Deck. I did that video a few months ago and some people told me that I went too fast with some explanations, and other people had two issues. One, they couldn't find or install the game, and others said that they have the bug where all their units suddenly die and they lose the game. And I have a solution for that, but for now it will cover only the first Battle for Middle-earth, not the second one. So let's dive into it. I'm in desktop mode, so you have to do a lot of these steps in the desktop mode. And you open up a browser and let's scratch this, and you have this all-in-one Battle for Middle-earth launcher file. If you want to find it easier, and if you don't want to follow this link, you can just type in the search bar all-in-one launcher. Okay, the site is ModDB, and actually let's also insert BFME here. Now the guys behind this did a tremendous job, and actually this is what is keeping these games alive, the community. So this launcher includes the base game, but also some mods, AI improvements, difficulty updates, and so on. You can check the change logs and all of that. I won't do that in this video, but this is pretty awesome. So you download the file, and after you download it, you add it to the Steam as a Steam shortcut. Okay, after you added the Steam shortcut, it will appear under uncategorized menu, but I won't tell you that I've already done these steps and I've encountered a problem afterwards, but I decided to redo these steps and hopefully I won't encounter that problem. If I do, I'm gonna point it out. If not, then well, that's it. So to resume, you add the downloaded file and you change the compatibility to Proton. You can use Proton Experimental. I think I used the Proton GE version, but everything that suits you or everything that works is fine. What is this? I don't know what's this. After you add that compatibility layer, you launch it, and the installer for the patch will appear. At this point, I don't know why, the Steam inputs don't work anymore. So I had mapped a lot of buttons here which they don't work. So to go along with this, you should use the touchscreen. But prior to this, I suggest you create a folder for the installation directory. So I'm gonna do just that. And let's call it BFME launcher. Now keep in mind that this installer will install a patcher, not the game itself. That's pretty important because you'll have to run another installation afterwards, okay? Okay, so after you created the folder, again using the touchscreen, you go right ahead. Now what I did prior to this, maybe you saw that I changed the name of the launcher to BFME installer so that I would make the browsing step again, because it cached the installation folder for me, so I didn't want to use that, the old folder. So you reach this screen, and unfortunately you'll have to deal with, oh come on, yeah, this is pretty hard with the touchscreen. You'll have to deal with Windows-like structure with C drive, D, and so on. For me, the external SD card is under E, next, and install. Unfortunately, because the Steam inputs don't work while this launcher is opened up, the keyboard doesn't work as well, so you won't be able to insert a custom path if you want to do that. Okay, now that that screen is closed, we can use the inputs again, and going to that folder here we have the where is it, patch launcher bfme.exe file. I'm gonna add this to Steam Shortcut, and now we have it here, still under the uncategorized menu. Again, we force a compatibility layer. I'm still using GE Proton 7-37, and just like before, I suggest you would create a folder for the game. Now I'm gonna create a new one, and I'm gonna call it BFME TBD from to be deleted, because I have this game already installed. So now I'm gonna have two copies. So I'm gonna launch this. And now again you'll have to use the touchscreen. You cannot use the Steam inputs. And you have the option to install the game or the advanced options, but since we don't have the game already installed, have to close this, choose install game. We have to go to the same tedious step, and for a moment there the keyboard appeared. So go to my computer, E, if you want to install on the SD card. Right after you chose the folder, the installation directory, go on, hit accept. You will spend several minutes here until the game is downloaded and installed. So I'm gonna leave it here for now. So after the game installed, you can either close the launcher or, I don't know, attempt to launch the game. Let's do that, but that won't work because of this. And yeah, well, we're gonna fix this, and okay, let's close this. So now the game is installed, and to fix that DirectX 9 issue, we're gonna use Lutris. So if you don't know what Lutris is, I suggest you watch some of my older videos or look up on the internet on how to use it. Basically, it is the bread and butter of the Linux community to play Windows games. And since this is a Windows game, we're gonna use just that. And I'm gonna name this one BFME TBD. And now, what I tried before was to add the launcher here and use that launcher to launch the game. I've encountered an issue that I'm almost sure you'll encounter it, and that issue is that for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason after the game is installed, the launcher does not work at all. Like, even if you add dependencies to it, trying different Proton versions as compatibility layers and so on, after the game is installed, this will not work. This is the issue I was talking about in the beginning of the video and so on, but there is a workaround around it. On a Windows platform, if you use this launcher, you have the options to toggle on and off the mods that come with this patched version, which, as far as I know, they are enabled by default. So if you want to play this game without those mods, well, tough luck if you want to do that on the Steam OS. So yeah, I'm gonna remove this. Also remove the installer, and to resume, we have the game installed. We go to that folder, we search for Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth.exe file, so let's copy the path to it. As well here. I'm taking the executable file name. And also don't forget about the wine prefix, because this is important. Pretty important actually. So let's create here a new folder. BFME TBD. Okay, and if you didn't watch the previous video or one of my older videos, that prefix folder replicates the window structure of a 4-hour game, which means that actually let's try and launch it first so that it creates the dependency folders and all that. Oh, I launched yeah, not this one, sorry, the other one. the TBD one. So now it creates the wine configuration, folders and so on. And after they are created, you will see the previous error, which is related to DirectX 9. And if you watched the first video regarding the Battle for Middle-earth, for some reason the fix that I used there to launch the game still works, but at first I thought that it didn't work because I could not launch the game from desktop mode, which is pretty weird, to be honest, but you will see what I'm talking about in a minute or two. So now it tries to launch it for the first time and it's stuck. So you can stop this or wait for an error which might not appear. I'm gonna stop it. And yeah, I'm gonna repeat myself, but if you watched the first video, you might remember that in that prefix folder that we created for this game, so go to prefixes, here we have the drive C, and if you go to users, deck, app data, roaming, we have the My Battle for Middle-earth files, right? And you can, you must create options.ini file so that you wouldn't be stuck with that frozen launching picture or whatever. So here I'm gonna search for fix BFME Windows 7. Okay, launch the first video or the second one. I think last time I launched an other video or whatever. And what you have to do is that you have to create this options.ini file and copy this content in it. This will be renamed to options. .ini. Open it up. Paste all that. I actually have one already created in the other for the other game, so don't forget to delete the first empty space. And also you should play around with the resolution, so let's just do that and insert the SteamDex resolution. And oh, I have a typo here. Save this file. Yeah, you can modify this as you please, but I suggest you use this resolution, okay? And going back to Lutris, now these two are almost identical, so I'm gonna remove the TBD one so that I wouldn't mix and match or I don't know, launch one by mistake or the other. So I'm gonna remove the TBD one. So if you go back to Lutris after you've added the options.ini file, if you try and launch the game, you might encounter this issue, and for some reason in the other video that I made, I managed to launch the game from desktop mode, but now I cannot with this patch version. So what I tried to do was to force this game to launch using DirectX 11, and I have added the DirectX 11 to this game by going to Winetricks. And yeah, here you'll have to wait for these pages to open up. I'm gonna select to install a Windows DLL component, and just for my I don't know, just for my curiosity, I tried to install every single DirectX version that I could, and still could not escape that issue. But after I've created a Steam shortcut, which is here, if I go to gaming mode, so in game mode, we go to the Lutris shortcut, we hit play, and the game launches. Now, I told you to set up the resolution to Steam Deck's resolution. From my testing, if you don't do that, you might have some problems. Here, like, you won't be seeing cinematics, and you might have problems properly seeing the game. Unfortunately, the game does not take into consideration the resolution from options.ini for some reason. I don't know. It is this patch might have some problems on SteamOS and all that. Moreover, if you if you try to switch to this resolution, there isn't that much of a difference. I don't know. It is just something subjective here. Okay, so yeah, we are in the game now. I did not customize my layout yet. I'm using the default mouse only one, just for the sake of this video. So I'm gonna start a skirmish, and you will see that it works. You won't have that issue with all the units dying after, I don't know, 2 or 5 minutes of gameplay. And yeah, there you go. You can install the game now directly on the Steam Deck if you don't have it, and you don't want to copy it. And if you had the issue with the all the units dying all of a sudden, now that issue disappeared. So that's that. I hope this video was helpful, and happy playing, I suppose. This game is actually pretty awesome with some custom layouts, but those custom layouts at the end of the day are subjective, so you can map shortcut buttons and all that. So yeah. Oh, a PS part of this video is that since, as you saw, there is an issue with the patch launcher and all that. So what I did at the beginning of the video, if you recall or not, I have changed the installer name so that the caching and all that would be brand new, and I could install the patch installer in another folder than I previously had, like this. So the first time around I had this folder patch 2.22 launcher directly in other games folder. Now I wanted to have a different configuration so that I could launch this launcher again, because a few moments ago, if you remember, after the game was properly installed, the launcher did not work anymore, and I don't know why. I don't have the time or patience to find that out, because the workaround is pretty simple. But why I'm telling you all this is that the all-in-one launcher is a continuous, is still receiving updates and all that, and in the future, as far as I know, they will be adding Battle for Middle-earth 2, and you will have to maybe, or most definitely, do this all over again. So keep that in mind. Long story short, if the second game appears under this launcher, download it again. Make sure that when you add the downloaded file, you have a different structure, like you either rename it or you put it under a folder and all that. And again, make sure that you install the patch launcher in a different folder than you previously had, okay? So that's pretty important. I'm gonna delete this now, and I suppose see you next time.